recording. Make sure that that doesn't kill it. Okay, looking much better. I guess the software just needed to restart. I'm going to say hi to Chris over in the chat room. Thanks for joining us, Chris. And if you want to join us, head over to churchtechcast.com and you can join the chat. So right now, you can also by dropping me a line, Paul at trinitydigitalmedia.com, or giving me a call, 1-877-763-32. That's 1-877-POD-ECHO. And I think I see one of the problems right here. Where is... Okay, back again to the latest version of the Mac OS, and it seems to not like Wirecast. So there's some compatibility issues. I thought that was at least possible. So that's something that hopefully we'll get taken care of here soon, and some updates and such. So anyway, let's get to your questions and go with those. Notifications, do not disturb. Let's kill that for now. So the notifications popped up and caused a problem. I don't have any more of those to show up. Okay, anyway. One, Joel Osborne on churchmedia.net asks, what does CCLI licensing cover? We are dealing with the same to get a video recording system installed in our church. When we were talking about, he said his church only records the sermon because they didn't have enough money to pay the copyright rights to record and copy the congregational singing. We informed him we had a CCLI license that covers that. He indicated that the CCLI license only covers reproducing lyrics, and we would need a performance royalty license to record copyrighted music even in live performance. That's not my understanding at all. The CCLI site says what you can do, snip, record your worship services, audio or video, provided you only record live music. Accompaniment tracks cannot be reproduced. You may charge up to $4 each for audiocassette tapes and CDs, and $12 for videotapes and DVDs. So it looks pretty clear to me. He says that's still... I don't see it. We're going to... But does anyone else want to weigh in here? I honestly thought we were doing the legal thing. Thanks. That it's my understanding that he's absolutely correct. In fact, there is a blog post on media.com that covers some myths about copyright, and it's by the Christian Copyright, I believe, the president of that, who is an expert in copyright, and she says that you can do that. So I think this is confused. I think that's absolutely the case. He's just confused. He's erring on the side of caution, which normally is good, but in this case is really unnecessary. So that's what I would recommend, is that contact CCLI, but I don't think there's a problem there. Jeremy Smith over on the Church Tech group on Google Plus asked Apple desktop laptop owners who is downloading Mavericks ASAP. And there's a follow-up question from my mother on Facebook. She asked, "What is this Maverick and should I download?" So first off, Mavericks is the latest version of the Mac operating system, but my mother-in-law is, despite my only, so she can't download it. Same thing for you if you're a Windows person. There are ways of hacking things and getting it, but most of the time, no, you can't download it. So with that said, I went ahead and did it, and here are the problems that I've seen. I'm using Wirecast, and I'm getting much less reliable performance, and that makes me very sad because I really like this software for my streaming and recording of the shows, and you'll just see that it stutters. And I thought that I hadn't rebooted since I installed Mavericks, but I just did, and now I'm still seeing this. And it's telling me there's not enough USB bandwidth, but the configuration hasn't changed, so that's awesome to me. So I assume that that's going to get ironed out, because in other things the performance is better. I don't know why it's worse now on Wirecast. Some incompatibility between Wirecast and Mavericks, so I'll look into that. Preston Odenbrett in Christians in Business Plus says, Twitter. My Twitter account is in trouble. I just looked at my stats. Seems like I tweet a lot, but my followers are so small. What percentage do you find of followers? Do you really get more quality followers if you follow more? 2,400 tweets, 667 people he's following, and he has 251 followers. Would love to get your... I'm using Twitter a bit more for researching and also finding new potential clients. How do you use Twitter? Thanks to Paul Clifford for getting me started down this road, even though I am not a church. So he's referring to my book, Tweeting Church, there. And so I wrote him back and I said, well, first off, you've got 3 times the number of people you're following you. I would cut that way down. You want to get close to a 1-to-1 ratio. Now he wrote me back and said, but they're industry leaders and thought leaders in my niche, and I'm... But you should more of those than are following you and followers. So the fact that he's following 400 some odd people in his niche that are thought leaders, that's way too many. Way too many. So I would cut that way down. Still, I would look at some of those people and follow their followers and unfollow after a few days if they didn't follow back. Build like that. I think that that's the way that you want to go. So, and that seems to do the trick. So that's what I would do. Again, Preston asks, I have some questions in regards to my blog. I like the free theme I'm using, but for some reason it doesn't show up in the place it should. I have a picture directly in the post in the home page where all the posts are. Funny thing is, the pictures I've placed in some of them show up and other ones that are Creative Commons don't. I wonder if that... I like the theme, but I can't figure out how to do this. I might have to change to another theme. This would be the third change in about 2 weeks, or is it because I changed my permalink to a more easier wording for SEO purposes? The one that shows up. If you could help, it is in this minor tweak, I would appreciate it. I'm having more and more people follow my blog, so I like what I am seeing, but I still have a lot more work to do. Here's my blog, and he gives his web address. What I notice immediately is it's a WordPress.com address. And that's problem number one, because I know that he's not paying for the paid hosting because it's a marketing blog. So he doesn't have all of the he could have. So that's one thing would change to a self-hosted WordPress blog. Much happier, and I think he'll get much more success. So, next thing. Over on Church Tech Leaders, Tom Omit asks Maverick compatibility. Who out there has been testing Maverick so far? I've not had the time to play with it, but thought we could start a thread on how it's performing with our favorite production apps. I'm particularly interested in how it's working with ProPresenter, Blackmagic Media Express, Adobe Creative Cloud, Jans Vista, Yamaha Editor, Dante apps. Feedback from anyone that's done any testing on any of these programs, or share your feedback on how it's working with the programs you use. Okay, so what I hear is the Creative Cloud will give you an error when you install Mavericks, but in actual usage, no problem. Make sure you're upgraded on Final Cut 10, because the does have some problems. I'm going to look into what's going on with Wirecast, because I'm having problems myself. I've heard the ProPresenter with the secondary display with the menu bar at the top, that can cause some problems. So if you're using ProPresenter, I would wait a little longer until they have that ironed out, because you don't want the bar showing up. I mean, is to adjust your projector so that the top bar doesn't show, but that's less than ideal. So those are the things that I would consider as you're going through this. Okay, and finally, Josh Ham over in the CTL group talking about podcast hosting. We are looking for a cost-effective yet efficient solution to place our audio and video podcast files for iTunes. We're currently using a service, but we are canceling our contract. What would you recommend for hosting? And also, what I would do is I would use either Libsyn or Blueberry. Blueberry is BLUBRRY.com. Libsyn, LIBSYN.com as my hosting, because they are made for podcast hosting. They're created by podcasters for podcasters, so they are reliable. I would not, under any circumstances, especially if you're using video, host it on my website. I don't care that your web host says they're unlimited. They are not. They're unlimited for the amount of files on your website, not for media files. You can test me on this, and if you get popular, you will either get a huge bill. If you're unlucky, though, that's what will happen. If you're lucky, they will turn you off. Either way, this is bad. So why are you tempting fate when the cost of a Libsyn or Blueberry account is not that much? I am testing out Spreaker for my audio files, not for Technobabble, my show that's been around the longest, but for some of my other shows. I'm very happy with the results there. I seem to be getting extra people following me over there, so I'll take that when I can get it. So that is basically what I would recommend. As for the XML, I just use PowerPress, a plugin for WordPress. If you're not using WordPress solutions, you probably do not need to hand code. I know that there are people that are still doing it. You don't need. So I would do that, and I would stick to using something that does it automatically. You can even do Dircaster, Dircaster, is that software that whatever folder you put the file in, it will create an XML. The problem with that is it assumes that you're going to host on your website, which is a big no-no. So there are other pieces of software that can do that as well, but really that should be a no-brainer and pretty simple to do. So we'll talk more about that later. Okay, so that was very painful on this end. I hope it was on your end, but yeah, Chris asks, before I let you go, he was asking about the new streaming provider I'm using, which is, I'm blanking on which one it is, but they have a couple of features that I really like. You can embed just the countdown, so I've got that a couple of places, and once you set it up, I don't have to change it every time because I was forgetting to do that. Also, it's iOS compatible, and I really like that. Let's see here. Manage. Yeah, YourStreamLive.com. They have a specifically church version, like My Church Streaming.tv, I think. Here, let me see if I can't find it. But you should be able to find it in your church, YourStreamLive.com. MyChurchLive.tv will take you there as well. That's the same company. That's just their branded for churches solution. I've got all the Roku art set up to do a Roku channel. I haven't announced that anywhere. But as I upload it, for some reason it's not going through. So I'm sure that I'm just not seeing what it is that the problem is, or there's a little glitch. Either way, it's something minor. I just need to email them to figure it out. But before long, I might have a Roku channel, and I could also publicize the video podcast channel, which will have all the videos as I shoot them live, and that'll be pretty cool. So mychurchlive.tv is where you want to go for that, and or churchstreaming.tv. Apparently, Chris says. Let's see here. Churchstreaming.tv. Let me make sure that's the same company. I think it is. It's the one he's using, so that's why he's wanting to plug them, because I told him about them when they contacted me a few months ago. And I like them. I like that they're iOS compatible. I like that they keep adding features that I want. It seems like there are a couple of ways you can go feature-wise, and you can end up adding features that, I don't know if I want those, but they seem to be doing a good job. So, yeah, neither of those are loading right now. It just might be what's going on with... Okay, so they're rebranding, he's saying. So, anyway, I hope that helps, and I hope this wasn't as painful to watch as it was to do. And until next time, go out and change eternity, and hopefully I'll get this software figured out. If not, I might have to go back to Adobe Flash Media Live Encoder. But until next time, talk to you later.